Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about, is it possible to have too much YouTube? Now, a lot of us are searching for answers, and it's really good to be educated. I feel that if you know about narcissism, why things happen the way they are, and how to spot red flags, what exactly are the red flags? So a narcissist has to have 5 out of 9 traits, and there are a lot of red flag signs, but we have to understand there's a lesson to be learned in this. And it's difficult because in the beginning, things seem perfect. We don't always see the red flags, but did they tell us about their childhood? Did they tell us about how they interact with people? Did we see them being rude to wait staff or demanding at a bank or whatever it is that we overlooked it? We kind of realize, that we are good people. So we think they're not going to treat us like they treat other people, but they treated strangers poorly a lot of times, or how they treat animals. So as we were growing up, a lot of us have come from good families, or we just have a belief in ourselves that we're good people, that we're there to help people. And we also have to really look at ourselves when we go into a large crowd. Are we drawn to the misfits? Are we drawn to the people that are quiet or shy? And we sometimes feel compelled to help people, to make them feel comfortable, because we would want to be made to feel that way. So we're empathetic. We understand what other people are going through. So we don't go a lot of times to the person that is more whole, that we're drawn to those kind of people. So it might be a subconscious thing where we overlook certain things with our narcissist, where we're like, they're just having a bad day, or they would have told me the truth, but I understand why they didn't, because we're all human. Not any of us are perfect. That maybe we told a little white lie or a lie at one time. We're like, yeah, I only did it because of this, and I felt bad, or I learned a lesson. Maybe they need to learn their lesson. But with the future faking and all the things that they put us through, the broken promises, the temper tantrums, each narcissist is different too. So we're sitting here trying to get answers, and we watch different people on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you guys find your information. Some we agree with, some we don't. We have to be very cautious that we realize that who we're learning from is not somebody who is coming from revenge or coming from anger to where they can scholarly talk about it. I see a lot of YouTubers, which is disheartening to me, how to get revenge and getting back at the narcissist. So that, 2 wrongs don't make a right, and we don't have to escalate things. We can de-escalate them. When we start punching back, they know how to fight, whether it's metaphorically or physically or however, they will attack back. Sometimes it's underhanded to where we don't even see the attack coming, to where they'll get those flying monkeys. They can cost you your job. They can file police reports, personal protection orders, whatever it is, to control you or get back at you. So is it worth throwing that metaphoric punch? But we're drawn to people because somewhere along the line, maybe we were an older sister or brother, or we had a sick brother or sister where we needed to help out, where we needed to step up. So we felt like the caregiver, that's part of our role. That's who we are. That's who we manifested into over time. So comment below if you're an older sibling. It can happen with younger siblings. Maybe they were the stronger person, were mom and dad available, because some of us came from 2-income families. So even if we had good parents, they couldn't always be there. So one of the siblings might have to step up, or we had a sick parent, or divorced parents, or broken up parents. But when we see red flags, as an empathetic person, we start wanting to save that person. We start believing in them, that they're going to change, or that their intentions were good. Now we're going to see everything in relationships from our perspective, our thought process. And it's really hard to connect with the narcissist thought process, because it's almost like the exact opposite. We over communicate. That's why a lot of us will say things 100,000 different ways. We try to make sure every basis is covered because the narcissist will play dumb. So we're wasting our breath, and it starts to get frustrating. We start to feel unheard. We start thinking we're crazy. Like, how did I not explain that the right ways? We're racking our brains. And our brains start going into this traumatic state. So when you're in the relationship, and also when you break up with them, that your body, your brain is used to trauma. So I'm currently still going through like a physiological healing because I was in such a traumatic state for so many years, like the most heightened. That it was years. And so I'm doing good. I'm getting out there, doing things, healing, having great days, but my body is still healing from it. And it's really an odd situation where you're like, it's a beautiful day out. I took a shower. I'm hanging out with friends, but my anxiety is up. What is causing that? And I was never like that before. That it takes time. Like, it's gotten better. I used to not be able to barely function, crying all the time. The devastation was so harsh because I just needed an answer, and I couldn't get that answer. So I didn't know if he was alive or dead. Big story. But the heightened anxiety, like, do I grieve? Do I not? Do I search? Do I this? Do I that? Limited resources because I had to work and this and that and states away and a whole bunch of stuff. But our bodies are in that heightened state, and we start getting used to it. So when we're searching about narcissism, that person's still on our mind. So get the answers that you need, do it every now and then, but don't go doom scrolling. Be very careful not to fall into that. Sometimes it can happen where, you know, with the analogs and everything like that, to where you got narcissism, cooking, theater, whatever is on your algorithm, that you're going to search cooking shows and you're going to get some little clips, but eventually it's going to pull you back. And then you're sitting there for a long time where that you're wasting your life. So maybe limit your screen time. It is good to get the information. We do need to understand. We do need to be understood. So YouTube and other support groups can be helpful, because when other people haven't been through narcissistic abuse, they don't understand what you're going through. So they'll tell you to just get over it. It's so hard. It's so much harder than a normal breakup to get over, because we're still trying to rack our brains. Like, if I had only said this, or why did that happen? Or were they right? Was I the narcissist? All these thoughts are going through our head, and the cognitive dissonance. We're also in that state where we have all that brain fog. So we're not thinking clearly. Maybe we're not sleeping correctly. So we don't have the right brain power. Are we eating the right way? That we have to understand ourselves. We have to understand what happened. And we have to start looking at those red flags. We have to start asking the right questions. And it's really hard with a narcissist because you feel like you're asking the right questions. You know, have you ever cheated before, or this or that? And they're just going to lie. Do you have any STDs? They're just going to lie most of the time. So, you know, be proactive in things. Maybe say we need to get tested, get the evidence that you need. But we tend to want to fix things. And a narcissist, we can't fix other people. Now, there are things where, let's say you found a homeless person and you wanted to help them. So you could get them cleaned up, you could get them transportation arranged, you could do this, you could do that. They're going to thrive if they're willing to put in the work. But if they're not willing to put in the work, or if they're going to stay in their addictions, blow off work, not take responsibility, it's not going to help them. It's just wasting your time. So in that situation, if you help people who want to be helped, you're going to make a difference. But when you're helping a narcissist to have a great relationship, they don't want to be helped. They just want things their way. And unless it's a give and take in a relationship, we put so much effort into our narcissist. We forgive so many times. And it's really hard because we're trusting people. We trust more than the average person because we want to see the good in people. We want to see change in people. Some people can change, but the narcissist doesn't want to. They have this grandiose facade that they can just go find somebody else. And they discard easily because they don't have this deep connection. Now, you can rack your brains for years trying to understand narcissism. The best way to understand them is to realize what their brain is like. So if you had a teenager, let's say 15 years old, in love with this bad boy, naughty boy, and you're like, but this and that, and you shouldn't fall in love with them, and you need to wait till you're older, and they're not good for you, and this and that. If they feel that they want to be with that person, they're going to sneak around, they're going to do whatever, they're going to lie to you. Not all teenagers, but to where they're going to want what they want. And that's part of being a teenager, is breaking free into adulthood and taking your life into your own hands to have the life that you want. Now, teenagers are higher in impulsivity. They are more reckless. You can even see in driving records and the things that they do, the chances that they take, the things that they do where they feel they're immortal. It's just their stage of life. And the narcissist is similar to that, where you can sit there and talk like, hey, you know, we have this great marriage, but we're starting to have some problems and this and that, and this is how we can change it. Or I don't feel heard. If you could just talk to me. They're not going to take it in. Just like, you know, talking to that 15-year-old where you're like, mommy's really worried about you. They're going to be like, whatever, mom, that's your job. And they're going to just want what you want, they want, or they're going to think you're too old to understand, or you just want to control me. And when you are trying to understand the narcissist's brain, some of them can be the brains of 2-year-olds, or they can be the brains of teenagers. So there's a big spectrum, but they often can throw tantrums. They'll lie. They'll get physical, just like toddlers will smack or scratch. That it's how their brain is. So we can't change somebody's brain. And I want you to think about your brain right now. Your brain's kind of struggling because it's so used to that heightened sense, to where we are hyper vigilant, whether we're trying to see if they're cheating, or are they telling us the truth? Are they going to the store? We don't even care if they go to their friend's house, like a regular buddy, but we just want the truth. And so now we're hyper vigilant on everything. And narcissists love to play games. So we start, you know, making sure I got to make sure I put my keys here, because they keep saying that you know, they're not taking them. And am I misplacing them? So we're trying to make sure, no, I'm not misplacing them. Something's happening to them. That we're hyper vigilant. Our brains are on high alert. And over the years, that's what we're used to. And our bodies will do that if we move to a different climate. Our bodies over time adjust to that. Our bodies adjust, our minds adjust. So we're still stuck in that heightened state. And to get back into a normal homeostasis, it takes time. So I'm doing fantastic, but I'm still healing. It can take years sometimes. And sometimes it gets so uncomfortable that we think about going back because it makes sense. That's what we're used to, but it's not healthy. And it's going to continue damaging your body, damaging your brain. The relationship's not going to get better. There's so many discards, or sometimes it's us. Like, I can't take it anymore. I'm out. And they reel us back in, or we do the reverse Hoover and bring ourselves back into a toxic situation. So think about how your body feels. It's your body telling you something's not right. This isn't good for me, because we all have that longing to belong. We're social animals. We need that. And we also have hopes and dreams. We should have a support system. And the way the narcissist was brought up, either they were coddled so much that they feel entitled and they like it, get everything they want. Of course they'd like it. So they're entitled. They don't want anything but that. You think about people who always have to have the best of the best. They have to have designer clothes or they're not going to go out. It's like the narcissist. I have to have what I want, or I'm just going to not participate in the relationship. So in the healing process, if you've gotten the silent treatment, if they've ghosted you, if they don't communicate, if they've cheated, or if they lie excessively, if they don't take accountability, if they belittle you or don't take your thoughts or feelings into consideration, where they make you feel less than instead of building you up. Those are things that either need to be worked on if you are in the relationship. If they are not going to be worked on, it will continue to damage you. So as an empathetic person, it feels good to be the helper, but be careful with that, because we tend to start giving too much. We give too much to where it depletes us. Just like if I gave you money, I can give you money every week. I can give you $20 every week. That's not a problem. I can give you $50. But if you're going to ask $1,000 a week from me, maybe I can do it for 3 or 4 weeks. After that, I'm going to go broke and I'm not going to have anything to sustain myself. So we're not sustaining ourselves when we give so much, where we forgive so much, where we start not taking a stand because we're afraid of the repercussions, to where we don't have a voice anymore. And now we've been isolated. So we can't talk to our narcissist, and we have nobody else to talk to. Or if we do talk to them, they don't understand narcissistic abuse. So there's no connection. And we start craving that connection. So that's why YouTube can be helpful, because when you guys share your stories, there's other people on the channel that'll be like, that's exactly what I went through, or I know what you're talking about, or you're not crazy. But we can't forget the healing process. It's not just learning, it's applying what we've learned. So we can learn facts about narcissism, but what's really important, and as you graduate, you're going to go through this stage where you want facts about the narcissist. So our focus is externally. What is narcissism? Why did they do that? What about the new supply? Focusing externally. We're still not focusing on ourselves. So if you would like help in your healing journey, comment below. Comment some of the red flags that you've seen so others can see that they're not alone. And I have one-on-ones available. Please like and subscribe. Comments and likes help. Share if this will help somebody. The healing journey takes time. You will go through stages where you're going to ram yourself full of facts. Let's put those facts into place. So learn about narcissism, but then graduate onto the healing. You can do self-help. You can utilize, I have free resources on different mental help that you can get. And I am available for you guys. Topic requests are always welcome. I do videos free of charge, and I'll see you soon.